This is the 20th season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. Yesterday was an interesting day, so we did a show with Ron and Spencer Sheffield. We did like the mega shows, and it was all about scoping and all this stuff, and I said I was going to go old school. I went super old school with Ron Sheffield, and really, really enjoyed doing that show based on the feedback. Ron really brought it, some stories that he hadn't told in years. You could tell he genuinely still had a passion for it and look back fondly. You probably look back fondly on a career that you make $2.6 million on, but that he enjoys following Spencer's career. And I'm going to do that more. I'm going to get more into some of the old school shows as we go, some of the stories, some behind the scenes stuff, especially guys who they don't have any, it's not a stick in the fight, or it's not a fight in the game. They don't have any, but we got to bring our guest in for today. Mark, what is the saying? They don't have a dog in the fight, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, right?
Yep.
They don't have a dog in the fight. What's up, Mark? You're today's guest. I was literally stuck there, so I figured I'd bring you in.
That's all right. No, man, we are, 17 days away. I got the countdown back there.
From the start of the SNU bowling regular season?
That is true. That is correct. Fort Worth, we're headed down there the first weekend in October. And, dude, I'm not kidding you, all right? I've coached teams for 30-plus years, all sports. I've never had a situation like what I am dealing with right now. Yeah, and you will never guess what I'm dealing with. It just got nothing to do with drama.
NIL? Yeah. NIL?
No, but that's a good guess. But no. Injuries.
Bowling injuries.
Dude, I mean, yesterday I had one of my top freshmen show up to practice, and he goes, "Hey, I just got back from the training room, and I've got a pinched nerve in my elbow."
What? From rolling, what do they call it? Rolling the rock?
I don't know. No, he's super athletic. I mean, he plays pickup basketball and
what the hell? Apparently, I got to donate more money to the program because the BTL logo, which was prominently displayed on the SNU page, is no longer. Do I seriously have to donate more money for 24?
But that's not why it came off. It came off. I was messing around with the mobile version, and I hid the logo for spacing, and I just forgot to put it back.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You realize that there's a lot of BTL listeners.
I know. I will have that corrected today. I'm sorry.
I'm saying if I need to donate more money, now you're all going to take me up on this. If I need to if we need to donate more money to the SNU bowling team to make sure that the BTL logo is back on the website.
Yeah. So listen to this. My number 8 freshman in the nation last year, out for the season, knee surgery.
He's bowling injury?
No, he just hurt it. I don't know how. So he's out. Going to have surgery over Christmas break. My other top freshman, pinched nerve in his elbow. He's out for I don't know how long. He's got to follow up with the doctor on Wednesday. My top guy from Hawaii rolled his ankle playing pickleball and missed.
See, that's ridiculous because the fact that you got someone to come from Hawaii to Oklahoma City to bowl in and of itself, you should be rewarded of.
Yeah. So yeah, the injury bug is.
What is it? I mean, can you roll a bowl with a bum ankle?
He's back now. I mean, he wore a boot for a couple of weeks. But he's still way behind because we're trying to get, how you've got that special way that you want to have your boat arranged with all your tackle and the rods, and it's all just completely decked out, tournament ready. Boom, you're after it.
Yeah.
Bowling's kind of same way. You got to get all your equipment dialed in and have everything ready to go. And he's way behind because of his injury.
Is this a new video that we need to watch?
No.
Like how new is this?
No, it's from last year.
Oh, so we've already played the new look of college bowling video on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to have some sort of Pete's kind of on this. It sounds like no pickleball should be in their contracts.
Yeah, that went down last week of practice. I told them until the season's over, no extra curricular activities.
Really?
We get through this. So it is what it is. But today, things are turning around because I have a big time recruit making her way with her parents from Rochester, New York, coming into town. They fly in today, and I have to pick them up at the airport. They're going to be here 2 days.
Well, I mean, like you got time to do the show, though, right? You're not.
Oh, yeah, they don't get in until noon.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some cool stuff in the industry. We're going to chit chat. I've got a bunch of stuff to cover, and I was just like, Mark would be a good one to bring in for this. And then we'll open up the StreamYard line. The link is in the YouTube description. You can copy it. You can put it into your PC. If you are using an Apple product, you have to download Chrome. You can do it on your phone just as long as you have a good video and audio signal. You can hop on, BS, ask questions, do whatever you want. But we have a ton of things to cover since the last time you were on for just a segment.
By the way, the
shirt too.
I did listen to the mega shows in my windshield time. Like I said, man, nobody in the industry could pull that off like you did, and it was epic. So many congrats for pulling that off.
Were you surprised that Duckett agreed to come on BTL post Mark Jeffries?
No,
he was super chill.
Talked to him afterwards.
What did he say?
No, he said it went great. He said, he really meant what he said when he closed out the show about, hey, we need to do this more often.
Listen, 30-second synopsis of that. I was super pissed when the transition happened between FLW and MLF, and I had multiple people that said, if you're pissed at it, if you don't agree with what happened or you feel like you got slighted, don't give the organization your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I also, and you were one of them, was don't complain about it every single day either. So just take your stand. So I made my stand, and I figured I would know when I was like over it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I'm over it. Like I still stand by, I got totally screwed. They still owe me 10 grand, but I'm over it. And I mean, like I was looking at the Toyota stuff that came out or some of the other things and was like, hey, like, this might fit into the schedule in 25 a little bit, which wasn't even an option in years past. So
it was good.
I guess my bridge was finished. I built my bridge and I got over it.
No, it was good. It was good. And, you got to understand too, Matt, we've had multiple conversations about this. You're running a business and you're the leader in the industry when it comes to independent and really the leader when it comes to breaking down stuff that's happening in the industry. And, people love them, people hate them. There's not too much in between there when it comes to Boyd, but I think when something takes place in the industry that is affected by everything that he has going on, and it is definitely newsworthy, that I don't think that door's closed anymore. You can still get him on the show if you want.
There you go. Dude, so I slept through an alarm this morning for the first time probably ever. And this is what reminded me of it. So that's a Celsius you're drinking, right?
Correct.
So I fished yesterday. I've never done this. This is the first time ever. And I was going to get a thing of a 24-ounce can of peach tea. Have you seen those? Like the cans of peach tea that are delicious.
Yeah.
But I passed the the malt liquor section. and there was a Bahama Mama thing like in a 32-ounce can for like $1.99. And I was like, damn, that sounds pretty refreshing. I did not know that it was 10% alcohol. So I drank that 32-ounce Bahama Mama last night, and then I slept smooth through. My
Wow.
6:30 alarm, woke up at 7:30. That's why I sent you the link a little bit later.
Hey, man, back in the day, malt liquor was it was
You didn't see that
rapidly
story
spreading
coming.
about because of the commercials that were on TV.
Oh, it was delicious, but the amount of sugar in that thing this morning,
Yeah.
and with having just turned 40, I don't know if you could tell, my eyes are a little tight. But you also are not an Instagram person, but did you see I went fishing with Cranford yesterday, and we went to, all these little lakes that are in Oklahoma. It wasn't like a major lake. It wasn't a secret. You can tell pretty much if you watch the video where it was. So I hook one, and I've never done this before. I've always seen this done before. And it comes up, and we think it's like an 8 to 10 pounder.
Okay.
And it goes back down, and it gets stuck in a tree. And I can tell that it's like 7 foot deep because of how much leader line I have sticking out, right? For my braid de fluoro. So I'm like, dude, I'm going in after it because it's tail walked. We've seen it. It looks giant. So he goes Instagram live. I jump out of the bass cat, go with my line, swim all the way down underneath. And it was like 7 foot down.
What?
Find the fish, eyes closed because I've got my contacts in. Follow the line down, feel the fish, grab it, swim back up with the fish over my head, put it on the scales. It was a 696. You ever done that?
No. How clear was the water? Was it pretty murky?
It wasn't. It was it was just standard Oklahoma water. The only thing I was worried about was like kicking into another tree or something down there, but that was like the only tree in the area.
That's impressive.
It was really fun. I mean, it wasn't like fun because I'm a little nervous on that type of stuff. Here, I'll watch it. Oh, wait, that was after I got it out.
Oh,
okay.
Can you not pull it up on Instagram?
No, I'm not logged into Instagram on this. You can see it, right?
Oh my gosh.
I look at that farmer's tan. And I almost didn't post it strictly because of the farmer's tan, but then I said, screw it. I'm not trying to impress anybody.
Oh,
I'm following the line. I go down. It was right at 7 feet.
And can you
listen?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad fish. I mean, look at that farmer's tan. That's just hideous. But dude, that was literally just like a let's have fun and go catch big ones trip, which I don't think people go on enough. Like schedule that, right? So I had recorded the Ron and Spencer Sheffield one, ran it at 8:30, called Austin and said, let's go try to catch a 30 rack. And we ended up with 26 and change. And then I broke one between 8 and 10 off. He broke one between 8 and 10 off. I lost another big one. Like we should have been like mid 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for the record, you have taken me out, and I've witnessed your technique that you are trying to master.
This was a different technique.
It wasn't that.
No.
This was something.
No, I didn't know the way I'm catching them now. I didn't know how to catch them when I took you out.
Okay.
Like I knew it existed, but I didn't understand it. And now I fully understand. You need to hop in the boat with me again. You probably won't catch any, but you need to hop in the boat with me again.
Confidence in your friend right there. Wow.
Well, I'm just being honest. So
it's fun to watch.
What we've decided the last 2 years is like if co-anglers friends jump in the boat, like you need to be like honest with them. Like, hey, you're probably not going to catch any, or hey, this is the only way you can catch them, instead of like, just, keep throwing back there, buddy.
Wow. Hey, when I was watching this weekend, some of the MLF team stuff that we're going
Yeah.
to talk about. This morning I noticed I was scrolling through a couple of the pages, and does the name Vance Montgomery mean anything to you?
Yeah, he just he's good fisherman. He just won the regional on Grand.
Yeah, and you may not realize this, but this was like, wow, probably 30 years ago. He actually wanted to buy the bass zone.
Really?
Yeah, he offered me a price. Like I said, this is 35 years ago when I was first starting out.
Well, that would have been fishok.com then.
Yeah, it was right after. I still called it the bass zone, but yeah, he wanted to buy it. He was, and I don't know if he still is, a big time taxidermist.
Really?
Yeah, but he was a stick back then. But it was weird, kind of seeing him still be a stick in Eastern Oklahoma winning that.
That's him right there.
That's him.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, Grand was brutal. So I've been, I don't care. I've been spending a lot of time out at Grand, Mark, because that goes off limits like October 11th to me for that Bass Nation Championship.
So how long is it off limits?
It's off limits for a month.
Okay.
So I spent I spent some time out there over the last week in Wisconsin. That's why you're seeing kind of like a scattering of some recorded shows and stuff and some live shows. Because if I can get someone on, I'm going to get them on instead of missing out on guests that I want to get. Like tomorrow, we're going to do a bass fishing, and we'll get into all this. You don't even have to, if you have to go, but we'll do a bass fishing Hall of Fame show for the auction we got Epic Eric coming on. We got Juice from Juice's Jigs. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. Milliken's back with that auction opens on the 23rd. Look at this. You know, Juice, right?
Yeah.
So Juice, he sold out 146 jigs on Lucky Lure Tackle in 2.5 minutes because Robert G from the Elite Series started using them, and then a bunch of other guys. And then you know, he literally had like 6 of the top 10 anglers in the world slide into his DMs. And each time he called me just like losing his freaking mind. Like, oh, look at this. Look at this. Can you believe this? I'm like, yeah, I can. Because they catch fish and they're like sneaky. But I had to make a 12 pack.
Okay.
So like retail, this is well over 100. So it comes with the box, right? And this will be on the bassfishinghof.com that opens on the 26th. And then I had to make what I believe are the 6 best designs on that. So like those are unavailable anywhere else. Like those are all tungsten. That's his tungsten that he sources. And then each jig. So like this color, an ode to that color. It's called Rodeo Queen. And
that's
look at
cool.
that. Yeah. So a full dozen of these. So like 2 of these, there's Tennessee Shad in there, in 1/8, in 3/16. And then he threw in some of the hair Mickeys. I think that's like some Arctic fox hair that's in there, but look at how gorgeous those are.
What do they look like in the water?
They're amazing in the water.
Really?
Yeah, they very streamlined, very minnow-ish.
Huh.
But anyway, so if you guys have heard of the Juice's Jigs or you're trying to get them, this will be a one-off auction, 100% tax deductible. 100% of the proceeds go to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame that they're actually doing some really cool stuff with up there. But like, look at that. You get the whole thing. Like you literally have the best of all of Juice's Jigs.
That's pretty cool.
And then the other one is, dude, you don't know Epic Eric from Travis's channel and from Epic Eric's Bass Lab. You guys would get along famously. So he's like as old school as it gets, but he's got an in with all these hand custom painters and balsa carvers and all this stuff. So I had him send me all these Epic Eric Bass Labs. So all these are going to the Hall of Fame. And you'll be able to bid on these, but you can't get these either. Because I figured, heck, you got to go with like one-off stuff that people want, right? So like, look at some of these. There's like 20 of these. There's 3 packs. He overdid himself, but they're all like custom Epic Eric's Bass Lab, Marty Burns stuff, like insane freaking paint jobs, all on like flat balsa stuff. Like you can't get this stuff ever.
Wow.
Like this should go for like $1,000. Like no joke. Like I'm looking at it. There's like 20 in this one. Like look at some of this stuff, Mark.
So how do you get those? What do they retail for?
I think Eric sells them for like 30 or $40 each. I don't know.
Wow.
But they'll be on the Bid Pal site for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. I have to get my stuff in. I'm like behind on it, but those will be up there. It opens on the 23rd and it goes through the 26th, which is when the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame banquet is.
Hey, who was the guy in the Table Rock area? What was that? Tim Hughes? Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Does that
Who
name
would paint him?
well? I wonder if he was still around. And he was a guy that everybody wanted his stuff. And he did some amazing stuff for a long period of time, but I don't even know if he's still around.
Okay. So question. So we're doing the BTL experience again, which has gone off swimmingly. The last times that we've done it, it's put you up in a hotel down the road for the night. Are you good for like $100 of travel expenses, Mark? Will you throw in $100? Okay, Marco. So $100 of travel expenses. I cover your hotel for the night. Then we do BTL in the morning, co-host, and then we go fish. And it's either big bass, educational, fun, crappie, whatever you want if you win the auction. So the very first year we did it with JD, right?
Yeah.
Had the tackle shop, the kayak shop in Southern Illinois. He still sends me spices. He's got a phenomenal citrus spice that I just put on some shrimp yesterday. I'm not kidding. We'll just do a show and tell show. I don't give a crap. Juice from Juice's Jigs came over to watch the Stellar OU game. Oh boy. And did I save that picture? Oh yeah. Look. Here he is right here. Here's his kid. There's this kid with the spice. He said it was like the best spice he's ever had in his life. So there's Parker giving the thumbs up. He wanted to take it home. So if you guys want that, I'll put the link in for that too. But anyway, he came and we did a bowling night the first year, right?
Yeah.
Can we bring that back now that you're back in the bowling game? Like, can we add like when they come in, like if they do a Monday show, Sunday night, bowling with SNU head coach Mark Jeffries, followed by co-hosting BTL, followed by a day on the water on a trophy bass or crappie fishing.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, that's it.
I'm in.
And hey, back and a bunch of other stuff.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I mean, I'm also on the injured reserve.
Yeah, you had back surgery, right?
I'm having this set of procedures done. This is the final attempt to alleviate surgery. I'm not going to have surgery. I mean, I can power through it without surgery. I just will give up throwing the rock. But it's an interesting procedure. I don't know if anybody has ever been through it. That's the other thing in bass fishing. A lot of guys have had severe back issues over the years when they get in their latter years. This procedure, he puts 6 needles in my back. Okay. He does these weird injections. I'm not really sure what it is that he's doing. And then 2 weeks later, I go back for a second set of 6 injections. Then after that, they actually go in and they burn the nerves that are causing the issues in my back pain. You know who turned me on to this whole procedure? Mean Gene.
Really?
Yeah. When we were fishing down on the greatest small lake I've ever been on in the history of my life, told you that story. That was just an incredible day. He was telling me about it because I was having so many back issues. So got the MRI, got it started with the consultation, and I had my first procedure last Thursday. So a week from this Thursday, I'll have my second one, and hopefully it works.
What's the recovery time?
It's a span over 6 weeks.
Oh, okay, so we're good for like
Yeah,
winter time.
yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
bowl at the SNU
Yes.
home
That's where we'll
lanes?
go anyway. Yeah.
Home lanes?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be like we're going to the Bolorama down the street in Shawnee during disco night. Like we're gonna go to the official college.
Yes.
Can we get a tour of the facility?
Yeah, I don't know what there is to see.
Yeah,
Have
you
you
guys
ever
have
been
a locker
behind
room,
the
right?
machines to see how the
No,
machines
have
work?
never been behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Can you take us behind and see how the
Yeah.
pins work and the SNU locker room? Can we get
Yeah.
some SNU bowling apparel? Do you think we could throw that into the package? Like, I don't have a
Yeah.
hat, I don't have a shirt, I don't have any of that stuff, Mark.
Yeah. We're getting
I
ready
am the
to open
corporate
up
sponsor of the organization.
the Booster Club is getting ready to open up a team store to where people can actually buy shirts and hoodies and hats and stuff. So yeah, whoever is the highest bidder for this complete package, yeah, I'll hook them up.
Speaking of hats, so is that the complete set behind you of the Quantum hats?
It is.
Who was that? The hats were, wait, let me see if I can do it. Rojas,
Yeah.
Scroggins,
No.
Greg, yeah,
No.
Rojas, Swindle,
Yes.
Grigsby,
Yes.
KVD,
Yes.
Biffle,
Yes.
Klein.
That is it.
That was when they all had their own individual colors with Quantum rods, the whole 9 yards.
And from what I understand, they're going away.
They're not going away. Quantum announced that they are 100% saltwater now.
That is an interesting marketing decision to position their product. I don't know. I mean, since that whole thing went down and Luz took them over or whoever it
That's
was.
why I said, yeah, they're with the same company, Luz and Strike King and Quantum now.
Man, they had some good stuff. You know, I still have some red rods in the wrappers. Some of the Dean Rojas frog rods.
That's crazy how strong they were in the bass fishing world back in the day with the KVD. I remember when I moved to Oklahoma. Now, granted, a lot of their marketing was out of Tulsa, right? With Dynamic and Alan McGuckin and that group, and they did a fantastic job. I mean, Oklahoma was everybody when I moved here was a Quantum rod or a Quantum reel and a Falcon rod.
That was it.
The Quantum Falcon combo.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is right here on In Fisherman product. Quantum's new saltwater. So they're fully saltwater now. But
So I still have still in the wrapper, I don't know, probably a dozen of those Dean Rojas red rods. I have 2 of the Biffle Q sticks, the blue ones. Those things were it was just like a mop stick. They were so stiff. A lot of people raved about the gold Gerald Swindle rod. It was
listen, I will have all of the details out on Epic Eric's paint jobs, but I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'm not trying to leave anybody out on that. Like, he sent me detailed descriptions on each one, and just as I BS with Mark, I don't know it, so it's not a slight because the paint jobs are phenomenal on them. So I'd handle that.
What did I miss there?
He said, "God Almighty, the painter dude doesn't even get a mention." That's Hayden. So,
Okay.
But yeah, no, the Quantum was the deal back in the day, and each rod was the different color, so you could just look down and tell what rod it was.
That was Kushnarik's idea.
That was fantastic.
John Kushnarek, man, that dude was in the industry for a zillion years, and was really, really good. He did a lot of the marketing stuff behind positioning KVD when KVD went on his tear on the Elite Series too. So John was a good dude.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, let's get into what we're actually going to talk about today. We're half an hour in. It's actually going on right now. It's the 2024 MLF Team Series, and I watched it 2 days ago for 7 hours, and it fired me up, Mark. And I called it.
What was that, Sunday?
Yeah, I was fired up, was I not?
You were. I'm excited to talk about it because
I was texting so many guys. Like, yeah,
it was fun to watch, and we'll get into it here in a minute.
all right. It's BTL on a Tuesday with Mark Jeffries, and then as we get into that, I will also drop the link. Go ahead and get ready if you guys want to jump on and chat with us live. The StreamYard link for that, we've done this a couple times before, is in the YouTube description, and then during the commercial, I'll also drop it in the comments. So BTL on a Tuesday with Mark Jeffries. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
In 2023, we became a household name in the crappie fishing world thanks to Power Breaks, the game changer. Hey, bass fishing world, buckle up, because you're next. It's going to be fun. Welcome to the next evolution of our product line, Power Breaks Sidekick, designed to install right on your shallow water anchors. We are the first and only fishing brake company to offer a breakaway system. Just like with the Game Changer, the Power Breaks Sidekick has it as well. And it's not a matter of if you're going to need it, it's when. Power Breaks, the most durable fishing brakes available on the market today. Made right here in the USA with our rock-solid 2-year warranty. Hey, not all fishing brakes are built equally, and you owe it to yourself to find out why ours are different. Power Breaks Sidekick. Order yours today at mypowerbrakes.com. You'll be glad you did.
Yes.
Fishing isn't just a hobby, it's an obsession. Whether it's blazing hot or bitterly cold, bright sunshine, raining, or even snowing, someplace, somewhere, there's a fish that's ready to bite. And as the angler, you need baits that will catch the fish anywhere, anytime, no matter the conditions. From throwing topwaters to cranking the depths, know the baits to throw. Choose Spro.
Denali Fishing has me covered on the Bassmaster Opens, from their line of high-end rods, from the Android series all the way to the TAC series, the Novus series bait casting reels, all the way to the Covert series of tungsten in the cylindrical and the teardrop shapes. Denali has everything to keep me covered, whether I'm finesse fishing for smallmouth on the Great Lakes or flipping for largemouth in the slop down in Florida. The complete lineup is always on my deck and in my boxes. Denali Fishing.
All right, welcome back, BTL. A lot has happened in the comment section since I went on commercial break, Mark. And yeah, so Epic Eric got on and said the two painters are TK Stanley. I didn't realize he was doing that at Tacklecraft. Tacklecraft is badass. And then John Pryor, I did not show those baits. Eric will be on the show tomorrow, Epic Eric, and we'll go through the baits and the boxes and all that. It's a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction show tomorrow. I just wanted to get a little taste of it today. And then, yes, that StreamYard link, if you copy that, put that in a new window in your browser, it'll open it up. You connect your audio and your video. And then if you want to chat with me and Mark, you can jump on and do that. So, all right, Team Series, probably the most fired up that I've been over anything that I've watched. I'll say the last 5 years of live fishing coverage online, and that includes NPFL, Bassmaster, television shows, YouTube content, and live content.
You were fired up. It was fun to watch.
So it was the first time. So here's what happened. So the Team Series is 3 years old, and MLF has been trying to figure out, this is my opinion on this, see if I'm wrong, Mark, on the business. So MLF is trying to figure out how to add value to their corporate sponsors to give them a little bit more bang for their buck on both TV and industry, right? So, you know, General Tire, Knight Industry, whatever, Kubota tractors, Toyota. So they were like, hey, we can do this team series thing since we don't do the cups anymore. And we'll make them fish out of the boats like we used to in the old school. They'll have to wear that jersey. So like Team GT or Team whatever. And then it'll be live, and then it'll also be on TV. And here's your market. That's how that works, right, Mark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here, let me say this. All right, we talked about this. We discussed it. I actually had a plan on doing this 15, 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah, how did you lose that?
I had a hard drive that crashed when we moved the studio, because that actually took place when we were in Noble. And when we made the move from Noble to Moore, I remember when I was setting everything up, one of the hard drive crashed and I lost a bunch of stuff. But this is a concept that I actually thought that the fans and the sponsors and the organizations could all benefit from it, because, Matt, from a tournament perspective, that what guys and girls do on the weekend, what is it? What's the format?
Team.
It's team fishing for the most part. Now, obviously, you have the individual, boater, non-boater and stuff. But I would say across the country, the vast majority of what people are competing at is
team tournaments.
Or
you're fishing with your buddy.
You put two guys in the boat that you can learn a lot from, plus you make it entertaining, plus you put it in a extremely competitive environment. That's a home run. I don't care what letters or what organization is doing this. That doesn't matter. I think what they've done is they finally created a product that the vast majority of the fans that fish tournaments can get involved, they can get engaged, they can really enjoy what's taking place. And the fact that there's no FFS.
There is FFS.
I didn't see a whole lot of guys using it.
The guys weren't using it because it's harder when it's a team tournament.
I agree with that.
There's an active target too on those boats.
What I saw, these guys were up in the middle of the pads, and they were flipping boat docks, and they were in the middle of the reeds, and just it was so much fun to watch. To see what these guys were doing. They were catching smallmouth, largemouth, and it's still going on. The competitive element that they have placed these guys in to compete against each other, absolute 100% home run. Has anybody complained about it? Have you heard it complain?
No, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. I texted Jacob Wheeler, because regardless of what he says, we all know Jacob Wheeler has a lot of pull over at MLF. He's like, oh, no, I'm just another BS. You're Jacob Wheeler. You're the number one. I said, cancel the BPT, blow up Red Crest, go all in on Team Series.
I just think that now is the time. I actually called Boyd and talked to him about the team thing. And they are going to really kind of bump up the marketing and really position this, because he agreed that this is something that he felt the fans, and for generally the most part of what people do from a tournament perspective, this is a cool concept that most of the people that enjoy team tournaments can actually relate to. Here's the other thing, Matt. Let me tell you this. Part of that presentation that I put together many years ago, can this format, and hear me out on this, can this format work at a state level? Now, hang on before you say anything. What I'm saying is, let's take the state of Oklahoma. You have really, maybe 3 regions. The West doesn't really have a play when it comes to tournament fishing. You have Northeast, you have East, and then you have kind of South Central. Okay, so let's just take towns, for instance. You got Grove, you got Eufaula, and you've got Kingston in the state of Oklahoma. What if somehow, some way, you could actually put together a state league where you have maybe 4 teams? I don't know what the right number is. Maybe 4 teams from each of these areas, and you actually create a league of which It's a different format. In other words, you're paying league fees every single weekend or every other weekend or whatever it is that you're fishing these leagues. Let's say the league fees are $200, $300, maybe 400, maybe 500. I don't know what the right number is. Then you compile standings over an entire 12 event period to where there's no payback in each tournament, but your payback actually comes from how you finish in the standings from the 12 head-to-head matches that you have in these, 12 teams that exist in this league. Has anybody ever done that? Has anybody ever thought
Not
about
that I'm aware of. So let me take this one step further. Can you not do so? MLF has messed with the team series. We've seen it in the TTBC in the past. It's not the first time they put two guys in the same boat. It's not the first time they've had teams. But the way it works this way, and we'll get into why it works, is two guys in the boat, team fishing, just like it is in a Nichols, just like it is in a Skeeter, just like it is in a Texas team trail or an Alabama bass trail, whatever, right? Could you not do what you were talking about, and you have 12 weekends or 12 events, and you register your team of 4 anglers? Now, people have lives, families, soccer tournaments, other tournament trails. Could the team then not, so the team is in the standings. You can fish any 2 people out of those 4 people on your team. If the same 2 guys, even though you have 4 registered, want to fish all 12, they can. You can mix and match. A guy's a good river guy. You go to the Arkansas River. I'm out on the river. Jim Bob's in for me on the river. Jim Bob can't do it the next weekend. Big time Timmy's in. And then you all have the 4, and at the end of the year, that's what it is.
That's a great idea, great concept.
So you're fishing against all the other teams.
When I put that together originally a long time ago, that was the scenario. In other words, you kind of have a team manager or whatever that selects the lineup for each event that you're going to fish.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then let's say you have the Grove, whatever. All right. And you go to businesses and companies that are in that area to try and market and support the effort that you're putting forth. Obviously, with the technology that's available in today, you're able to live stream everything very easily from the boat. I think it would put some juice in kind of a really not controversial, but really combative type of environment. And
competitive. It's like what the bull riding tour is doing with the teams right now. And you've got a bunch of guys who are individuals that are going, what the hell does bull riding have to do with teams? But for a guy who doesn't follow it, or who follows it but doesn't know it, I'm not a bull rider. Like, yeah, man, like I'm rooting for the Oklahoma City Wildcats.
Yeah.
And they're learning how they can like work together on it. Now, here's a beautiful thing that they did. So they did a draft, which they've done the draft before, but they did it like midway through the year. Mm-hmm. So each guy, based on their Angler of the Year standings, was able to draft someone. Now that person was able to turn them down. Like, I think it was Matt Becker. Yeah, Matt Becker. So Rojas had a really good first half of the year. He drafted Matt Becker, and Matt Becker turned him down.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up with Michael Neal. Not a bad second choice, but I love these unique team dynamics. So you have some of the stuff, so you could get maybe a Christie and a Biffle in the boat at the same time. But like the one that I watched, it was like Skeet and Ayler and the Jones brothers, and like who's competing today? Kelly Jordan and Keith Poche. Like the Robinson, Marty Robinson and his boy. So
yeah,
you have these really cool. So the best one by far, I don't think it could get any better than this, was Dave Lefebvre and David Dudley.
That's entertaining.
This is when I was all in on this, Mark. So, they start out fishing grass, and you could tell like Dudley wasn't super thrilled with what was going on, but with no practice and they know what area they're going in, but they can't research, because MLF has had an issue with that in the past. When they go to these no practice, they find out where they're going, and then guys just blitz the lakes around that area. So when they go there, they actually have done it, even though they don't know what lake it is, because they know you're not going to fly into Oklahoma City and then be fishing mead. You know what I mean? Like so they made that off limits. They gave them 21-foot boats. But then when they put them in, what they're doing is they are forcing on the water decisions. Now, this is what you struggle with. Hey, tell me about your day. And the guy's going, oh, well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, if they're going to win and if they're going to do well, you have to know what's going on in each other's head, because someone has to be making a decision. Someone has to be trying to figure out where the fish are. Someone has to be figuring out what it is. So when they hook up, the questions that the angler who didn't hook up asked the guy who caught one, the decisions on where we're going to go next, the frustration when they're working together, when they're figuring the stuff out, it's organic now, right? Not the Jones brothers, the Jones, Alden Jr. and father, son. Yes. And so you don't have to force it, because in the process, the personalities come out. So now you've got, like, I'll be interested to see, I think Thrift and Sprague are fishing together. I would love to see, like, they're going to have to talk. Like, Thrift's not a big talker. Sprague doesn't talk anymore. So it'll be very interesting to see, because if you figure you have to talk to figure it out. So now MLF has the content. It's the 3 E's all in one boat, because it's entertaining. Because when Dudley loses a 5, Lefebvre's about to jump in. Then he asks Dudley, why'd you do that? Dudley's like, oh no, it frickin' happened. He broke it off. Then Dudley saws his rod off over the corner of the boat. Then Lefebvre's trying to talk him off the edge. Then Dudley's trying to re-rig, and Lefebvre's like, boy, that 5-pounder sure would have been nice, wouldn't it, David? And David's down there going, yeah, you think I intentionally lost the thing? Like, yeah, no, it would have been nice. And then he's like, but we're okay. Then when Dudley's catching him on the wacky worm, he's telling Lefebvre, hey man, like, you want to lighten that jig up? Like, maybe a smaller jig. And Lefebvre's like, nope, I like my jig. Dudley's like, are you sure you like your jig? And then he racks a couple, and he's like, see, I told, like, this is all stuff that goes on in team tournaments on a daily basis.
Exactly.
This is everything that we have. MLF, whoever is doing it, and the fact that it's just 2 people in the boat, no BS as far as the earpieces and all that stuff. Like, you got freaking Brent Ayler picking up a yellow Skeet Reese rod and making a roll cast. Like, I would never have thought, I thought that would probably like burst into flames in Brent Ayler's delicate hands there, but no, he did it. And then Skeet, once they get down, he's on high bypass. Ayler's trying to throw a frog. He's getting one twitch in before he has to reel it back in. Then when one angler gets a penalty, both of them have to sit down.
Let me ask you this, all right? Let me throw this out there, Matt. If scheduling wise, if it worked out, let's not get into the whole logistics, but think about this. If they were able to have a MLF team tournament prior to the event that they were having, hang on, don't mix and match. Here's the question. How many people would be more interested in the team event than the actual event that would follow the following week?
When I said blow up the BPT, I was dead serious. Flip-flop it. Have the individual events in the fall with 4 individual BPT tournaments that have it, and put the team series as the regular. Make it a $10,000 entry fee, so it's still $5,000 for each. Then you can have $250,000. These guys are fishing for $20,000 with no entry fee in this.
Yeah.
Like, look at how competitive it is. Look at how hard they're trying to succeed. Look at how well they want to do. You want to really shake the industry up? Go the team route for your primary deal. Have these teams that become icons. Then let's say I'm BTL and I want to sponsor it, right? So I don't want to sponsor a guy for the entire entire season for 100, whatever, let's say $50,000. That includes the boat wrap, and that guy has a bad year, it's done. But listen, let's say for the same 50,000, I could get a little piece of angler A, I could get a little piece of angler B, and I could get a piece of their team boat. Now I've got them also on the individual. I've got the team thing. Now when it comes to exposure, I'm getting a ton more bang for my buck, because we all know that even though the industry is small, there's certain guys that follow different. I've got more access to my team and anglers, because instead of one guy going, hey man, I'm going to go kill an elk this weekend, the other guy's like, I just plan on watching college football. You want me to come into your store? You want me to do this? And then you have a piece of the whole boat. So like everyone still has their individual deals, but then they can bring it together for the team. And then you put $250,000 on each one of these, and you want to see competition go through the freaking roof. You want to see that stuff go absolutely nuts. Like, this is where it's at. This is what I want to watch, because we can all freaking relate to it. We can relate to when Hatfield hooks up on a 3.5 pound smallmouth, and Lucas is down there trying to get the dang thing, trying to land it. And you're going, dude, grab the damn fish. Like, quit screwing around. I don't care if you put a jerk bait in your hand. We need this fish in the boat. And your partner's going, you think I'm intentionally letting them flop around? Like, and then 90% of these fish are boat flipped, right? So now wait till you go on a fishery. I'm just getting started on this, Mark. Like, there's 7 more layers of this. Wait till you go on a fishery where it is a goat rope at the side of the boat. Yeah. You're going to have deals where this fish comes off and the guy goes, I had it in my hand, and the partner goes, what the hell? And I mean, it's chaos. And then there are 4 boats on the water at a time here. Now you could go up to 8. You could do whatever you want. There is not a fishery in the country that they cannot go to.
It's a home run.
You can go to a 500-acre fishery, 1,000-acre fishery. You could do different fisheries for every day because of the way that the format is rolled up. You can do the giant-ass spotted bass fisheries in Northern California. You can do pothole fisheries in Florida. You can go anywhere and do anything you want. Plus, there's the next one, Mark. The resources that it takes to cover this are half of what it takes to cover an individual event. You need half as many referees. You need half as many TV camera boats. You need half as many freaking resources, because instead of spread out over the individual, you got 4 guys in one boat. Now give them 6 months to get ready as a team. Throw an alternate. So 3 guys on each team, even though it's 2, or just keep it 2. I mean, I'm fine with just keeping it 2. The problem arises, you do have guys who go on injured reserve. You do have things that happen. So if you take a alternate from the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit who is not fishing unless the angler on that team gets on the injured reserve, I think that's the way to do that. So then you would have, whatever, that guy, the team then would draft someone from the invitationals who's trying to make it up to the BPT. Give them 6 months, let them fish out of their own boat. Most of the guys then would have a team boat, right? And then you would also have your individual boat. Now, a lot of the guys, if you have less BPT individual events, those things do not excite me at all. They never have. They never will. It's not the Bassmaster Classic. It never will be the Bassmaster Classic. No one ever dreamed of growing up so they could fish red crest. That's the facts. But you know what a lot of people did dream of is, dude, like, we smash them today, we win a boat. We smash them today, we're the freaking Nichols champs. Everybody looks at us, and out of the hundreds of guys on Grand, we figured it out. Bet, like, this is where it's at, Mark. Rant over.
I mean, can you name some of the dominant teams in Oklahoma? And I'll get to my point.
Yeah, 100%. Head and Carrier.
Yeah. I mean, they dominated for years on Grand Lake. But
everyone has that on their Wednesday nighter. Every Wednesday nighter has the team that is the GOATs.
Matt, will the fans accept it? Will the fans?
Yes, the fans will 100% accept it. The fans haven't accepted the BPT in 5 years, Mark. They can't accept this any less.
That's what I'm saying. I think it is revolutionary from the perspective of nobody has tried to position professional team tournaments in the marketplace until what they've done right now.
And they tried it the last 2 years, and their format sucked. This is the right format. This is the right format. 2 guys.
It's pure.
Yes.
It's the purest form of team fishing that exists. I mean, you got 2 guys in a boat. They go out, they fight, they celebrate, they conquer, They do everything that everybody that team fishes does. Now, is it good for the sponsors? Absolutely. Is it good for the anglers? Absolutely. Is it good for the organization? Might be one of the best moves that MLF has ever made.
It is the best move.
How many years have we been together and rarely do we agree on anything?
Dude, I hate, like, live fishing coverage is fantastic. Like I said, it's been years since I've been pumped up for live fishing coverage. Baker Mayfield was playing for the freaking Bucks. You know how much I love Baker Mayfield.
I know.
I want to see Baker Mayfield with 11-yard runs into the touchdown to go 2-0 for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I couldn't turn the dang thing off.
I know. I was going to just glance at it, and I end up watching it for almost 2 hours.
It's on today. It's on right now. I encourage everyone listening, you can go back and watch it, to go watch it live and like actually pick it apart on it.
I have not heard anybody or seen anything that people have any type of dislike or.
You know what? The anglers absolutely love it.
I get it, man. And we're going to see if they run with it. That is the big question, is are they going to capitalize on the opportunity that exists from the feedback and from the, hopefully the success.
They need to flip it
from this format.
MLF needs to flip it. They need to be a $250,000 tournament team series that has unique individual tournaments.
What's the negative? Is there?
And then you can still run it at the Invitationals and the Toyotas and the BFLs. There's no negatives. I don't see a single negative to this. Plus, you can keep your transducers or your forward fade. It's very hard for two guys to scope at the same time. Even when you've seen guys up there like that, you know, they're casting. I asked a couple of them. They said it was up there, but yeah, it didn't look like there was much forward facing. But if there is, here's the other thing you're going to see. You're going to see so many double hookups, and you're going to see so many guys. Like I said, picture this. I said, picture the spotted bass deal where you got the two guys in the boat and one guy freaking hooks up and the other guy's reeling in and he's got a spoon right there. And the guy's letting the fish at the side of the boat and they're doubling up and they've got it in freaking tandem and they're just catching fish after fish. You go up north with the smallmouth on fisheries where the fish follow it back to the boat, the follow-up cast, the double hookups, all that stuff. Like, that is exciting. And they're scoping like every single team tournament and stuff. So that's a whole different way of learning it. Like, how do you make the guy efficient instead of saying stand back and watch, Junior?
Great point.
Like, I loved it. I loved the fact that Alton Jr. was up front and the old buck Alton was freaking smoking them, because then they have the individual stats next to it. How many fish they've caught that day, who had the biggest fish. Like, I think Alton Jr. had like 5 or 6 pounds. Alton Sr. had like 20 something pounds. Like, was just unconscious with the spinning rod and a wacky worm.
I agree, man. I agree 100%. It's a home run.
I benefit nothing from this. BTL benefits nothing other than having great content and enjoying talking about it, and then having both guys on for the team or one guy on for the team.
I know.
I mean, dude, it wasn't that long ago, and it still is, where it's like, hey, you know, how long are these leagues going to be around for, right? Like, dude, now there's like genuine excitement around.
I'm really going to be curious to see what their numbers are and whether they're. It's
going to be bad numbers. It's over NFL weekend. It wasn't publicized very well. This is the first year that they've done this format. I think this is a trial run, and they friggin' hit a home run with it. There's not a single angler that does not love this format. There's nothing bad about it. Now, here's some of the things. What do you think? Would it be more network TVable and consuming if it was a 4-hour match with 2-hour halves?
That's an interesting concept. I would say yes. Yeah. Because now you actually have a head-to-head competition, you know, team versus team, of which a lot of people, obviously, they can relate to that format, because team versus team, whatever sport you're doing, that's an aspect that a lot of people that aren't familiar with the game itself can relate to. Especially, what's one thing that takes place? It doesn't matter who's fishing together. There's a couple of things that always happen. One is chaos, especially if you're having success. There's always some type of chaos that happens during that 4-hour period. The other thing is the agony of defeat. Something critical takes place and it's captured during the competition, and that's something that people talk about all the time. I mean, it happens in any sport. When you have something where you have the old wide world of sports, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, whatever takes place over that weekend, people are going to talk about. And even though the fishing industry generally and the fishing fans generally a swimming pool compared to an ocean, I think people that are fans, if something took place, they're going to talk about it. Just like with the Cowboys this past weekend. You just paid Dak $250 million, and he goes out and he has one of the worst games he's had in years. What is the end result in paying a dude that much money? Well, people are talking about it now. Well, I think if you have chaos in this team series, or excitement, or some compelling moment that is going to lead people to talk about in this series that they can relate to. If you fished a team tournament, you can absolutely relate what these guys are doing in the boat. So, we can constantly go around in circles in this. But if I was MLF, I would capitalize and do everything I could, just like you mentioned, to market and focus just a ton of your product positioning with this product. It's really cool.
And this is for 20K. What I'm saying is, imagine if this was their primary. Everything is amplified by 10.
Agree.
And you still have the individual. You have the individual stats. Now you can actually have an MVP, not an Angler of the Year. Now you can have a league MVP.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, here's an idea. Since you're so enthusiastic about this, why don't you call Boyd and have him on the show to talk about it?
I just had him on. We're good.
No, I'm not talking. I mean, wait a couple months. But I seriously, Matt, I think obviously the buy-in that you have on this, we'll see if you can put that together, because I feel very confident that Boyd would do it. But I'm in 100% agreement with you. This is a game changer to focus on.
If there was a way, so listen, take off acronyms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all have a bias towards one or another. I mean, I'm a Bass loyalist to the day I die. I always will be. But I also, have fished FLW and MLF and all sorts of different stuff, right? Looked at the NPFL schedule, the whole 9 yards. Like, if there was a way that me right now could start like fishing to get to a team series point, like if there was a team trail that resulted in this, like, look at that. When was the last time Skeet wasn't this excited when he won on the James? Watch. He didn't even catch the fish. Boom. Yeah, baby. Yeah, look at that. Attaboy, Brett. Look at those genuine smiles. When was the last time you saw veteran anglers that actually genuinely happy?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
If there's a way that I could fish my way to the top like this with someone, like, I would be on that trail. Like, that's what I would go all in on.
Yeah, there was a comment. I'm trying to see. It was from Tommy. He says, I do think the team tournaments are super entertaining to watch. That's coming directly from the fans. And if you are a tournament angler or just a fan in general, to watch what they're doing, it doesn't matter what letters are up there or what organization it is. When you have that caliber of players doing the game that you can currently relate to very, very clearly, you got a home run with that.
I'm not going to get in trouble showing all this stuff, am I?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sure.
No. You're good.
I mean,
They're not
like,
coming after you, man.
haven't always been able to say that, have we? It's what?
And then we kind of touched on it a little bit. Does this not have the trickle down effect? I think
That's
it
what
does.
I'm saying. Yes,
It does. And what I mean by that is just like what I came up with years ago. I think it trickles down to the local and regional areas where you actually can kind of create the minor leagues of team fishing. Can you not?
I would think so.
You got a waiver wire, you got a draft, you got, people on the DL.
I don't think it's even a draft. I think you just start, you and your buddy just sign up for it. You have an alternate that can.
You got a free agent, you got free agency.
That's it. That's maybe at the top level, but I also like the guys in the boat who want to fish together. I like the dream team matchups. I like the odd couples. I like the fact that you have a lot of father sons. I like the guys who want to get in the boat. There's nothing worse than a guy who's on a team that he doesn't want to be on.
Agree.
So, yeah, you could have that as an option. Like, you might get drafted with that, but I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Ultimately, you know what the cool thing would be at the highest level is these guys are actually salaried employees. They're actually paid to play. Okay.
Yep.
They get hooked up with corporate companies that want to sponsor them. And I'm not going back to the whole thing that FLW had at one time. And for those that may not be aware, there were guys that had deals with a lot of those FLW companies, but there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the Walmart play that was on that. But there were a number of guys back in the 90s and early 2000s. They were actually employees of those companies. So think about if you had, a team, you had 4 teams and they were, they were Chevrolet teams or Dodge teams or whatever, that they were actually part and employed by Dodge. Now, at the highest level, you've got a salary base, you've got health insurance, you don't have to worry about catching fish to pay your house payment or your rent or anything like that. Now you have kids that are coming out of college too, rather than, having to try and put together, $60,000 to be a part of the Elite Series or whatever. They're in an established position from a livelihood standpoint, from a career standpoint. And you get the exposure through the sponsorships, you get the exposure through the angler, and you don't have the pressure of going out there and having to catch fish just to pay your mortgage payment.
So MLF is going to 50 anglers in 2 years, 65 this next, 50 the following year. Dude, that's 25 teams.
Yeah.
In 2 years, they need to have 25 teams. And instead of this at the end of the year, you have individual events that are sprinkled between a team series with a $200,000 to a $250,000 payout, where you have the 25 teams, the 50 anglers. You can put 25 teams on a fishery at once, no problem. It's 25 boats. It's 50 guys. It's the same thing that we have here. It makes it a lot easier to do no practice. It makes it a lot easier to do. We don't know exactly where we're going, the whole 9 yards. You want to fish the individual stuff. Those guys are more than welcome to fish the invitationals. Like I said, there's a lot of logistics behind the scenes, but you look at it. I think this is the future for MLF.
Do you think Bass could pull it off?
I think this might be a scenario where maybe the PGA Tour looks at some of the live golf formats and they have a committee that kind of slowly implements some changes that might benefit those anglers without strictly saying, yeah, we're doing a team series now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it could be much better positioned with MLF.
I 100% agree. To me, I am totally fine watching the Elite Series in 9 tournaments and trying to qualify. They already have the platform for their product.
Mhm.
That's what MLF, in my opinion, has been struggling with, was to create substance and meaning behind the programming. And the biggest backlash, in my opinion, especially in the early days, which that's gone, was the banging over the head about how good they are, how important it was, how much money it was, the whole 9 yards, because they were trying to show validity and importance with the red crest and all that. They organically have it here. Everyone can relate to it. Everyone wants to be a part of this. I mean, I fish every single day. I had no desire to be a part of the BPT or Red Crest. Just doesn't excite me. If I'm going to spend my money, I'm doing it in the Opens to get to the Elite Series and the Classic. But I will spend some money to get on a team series like this.
Eric on the comments has a great point. You know, all the college level stuff right now is team tournaments.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, it is. It is
100%. There you have your kind of your resource.
And high school's team tournaments. And we all fish team tournaments.
Home run, dude.
Now, the individual tournaments, still love them, still want to compete in them. If everything was team, no. But with what they've said, with what they've stated, with what their mission is, with what they're trying to do, with what the anglers have said, in the climate that we're traditionally in right now, this is the deal.
It has been many years and very few times that we've actually agreed on a lot of subjects, but I am 100% behind you and agree with you on this entire potential and possibility, because it's the juice that I think MLF needs for separation. And there's so many times in business, you know, even though they're trying to collect the same type of angler to get to that point, and in any business you have a lot of similarities, but at the same time, Matt, you have to create separation that makes your product better than your competition. And I think this is something that definitely makes the brand much better than it was or is.
And Mark said the first team series event wasn't much fun to watch. It was a blowout. I don't know if you're familiar with the Connecticut women's basketball team for a number of decades, or the Oklahoma softball team. I mean, you're going to have blowouts. That's competition. I hate anything that handicaps or prevents the possibility of a blowout.
Yeah.
If you're that much better, kick their ass twice and bury everyone.
Yeah.
Good on you. You figured it out. Everyone had the same playing field. Once you start messing, trying to keep it close and add drama to it, that to me is where the issues arise. If you figure it out that much better, hey, guess what? Yeah, this round, not close. But the next round, it might be a 1 minute buzzer beater 2-pounder.
Agree. You know what I'm going to do later this week? I am going to reach out to Boyd and talk to Boyd. Talk to him a little bit. And just see what his thoughts are on this. As I mentioned, I talked to him on Sunday, and I think there is going to be some emphasis placed on this team series thing.
How long would it take? Like, let's just say hypothetically, they're like, yeah, we're going to flip it and we're going to do 4 individual events and we're going to do 8 team series events. How long would that take to actually be able to do that, do you think?
With the structure that they have in place, fairly quick. All right. Probably the biggest challenge that they would have is you have companies that have paid for sponsorship for a specific product. Now you got to convince them, hey, stay with us. This is what we're going to do. It's going to be better for your brand.
This is live right now. Dude, those are sick Knighton jerseys. Are they not?
They are. I mean, every single person that fishes for the most part and fishes team tournaments, they can relate to that shot right there. Can they not?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what you can't hear, because I don't have the audio, is, you know, they're talking about, hey, are you hitting this? Like, it was cool. You'd be like, Lucas is a big fan of ladders, I found out. The man loves a good skip by a ladder. Every dock, did you hit that ladder? Did you get behind that ladder? What about that ladder? What do you thought of? You hit that ladder from this angle? How about that angle? So now instead of Keith Poche just going down the bank grumpy, he's got to talk to, who's he fishing with? Kelly? Yeah. He's got to talk to Kelly. I don't recognize Kelly with the gray beard. He's got to talk to Kelly about where he's fishing on this, right? So like where is he, you know, what are you hitting? What are you throwing? Where was that bite? Like it's totally organic.
The strategy that's involved in team tournaments to be able to watch, you know, are they both throwing the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing the same thing? Is there something unique about what one guy is using compared to the guy that's in the front of the boat? Are they tackling and trying to target the same type of structure? There's so much strategy involved. And from an education standpoint,
I'm not saying this is the first one that does it. You can go on TV, you can watch the Triple T, you can watch, you know, there's a bunch of Alabama Bass Trail. There's a bunch of stuff that's got the team series.
The Skeeter Trail.
Well, no, I'm talking about that's televised or that has live streaming that are team series with guys in the boat. But
the one in Texas, what is it? That
Texas Team Trail?
Yeah.
Triple T's?
Yeah.
But these guys, this is what they do. Like, these are the guys we know. These are the superstars. These are the pros. And it's a totally different vibe.
Agree. So hey, let me ask you this. What do you have coming up? I mean, what are you doing fishing wise the next till it starts snowing?
So I have the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame next Thursday.
Okay.
Then 2 days after that, we're going to have a whole week of Sunline shows. I'm going to Japan for 5 days to tour the Sunline factory and go to tackle stores.
Can you be live?
Bass Champs. Yeah, I need to talk to you about that. So I have AT&T has the deal where $12 a day you can do international. Like this year, I'm Europe, Canada twice, Mexico, and Asia in the span of 6 months.
That's pretty cool.
So yes. So I need to talk with you because I need you to just get the show going there so then I can StreamYard in from Sunline. It might be 3 a.m. You're just gonna have to work with me on that.
Doesn't matter. I'll help you.
And if you can't, I'll have my assistant help. But if you can do it.
Your assistant? You have an assistant?
I'm working on it. So then after that, the Bass Nation Championship, which is the second week in November, it goes off limits October 11th. So I get back from Japan like October 2nd. So I'll have like a little bit over a week. Those will be recorded shows that week where I'm living on Grand for 9 days before it goes off limits.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple weeks off, and then the Bass Nation Championship in November. And then the week, October, after I get back after it goes off limits, Matt Steffen and I are doing our 7-day quest to catch as many master angler species as possible.
When does that start?
I got to have a chat with him. So it was supposed to start on the 18th, which is a Friday, and go through the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
But my buddy Greg is coming in from California, who I played hockey with at OU.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to that. It's been scheduled for a year. I totally dropped the ball on this. And we're going to the OU game versus South Carolina on the 19th. So then that challenge won't start till the 21st.
Okay.
And then, and then Mexico.
All right. So you're dialed in.
What about you? I gotta get in the boat with you.
I know. That's
what you were asking.
I was trying to figure out time-wise when you could actually take me.
We can go that for a day that first week in October.
After we get back from our first event.
That's event?
Our first collegiate event.
Oh yeah.
Which is the first weekend in October.
You said it was in Fort Worth?
Yeah.
If people want to come out and watch the bowling team, they're welcome to.
Absolutely. City View Lanes, and it's one of the largest centers in the Midwest. I think they have 60 lanes, and we'll take up about 40 of them. I think there's going to be over men's and women's teams. There'll be over 40 teams there. Kind of crazy. There's bowling balls everywhere. Everybody live streams now, so you see all these individual cameras that have popped up. Oh, by the way, I did go I am customer on Verizon. You would have
Not shocking.
It would have been a epic educational video if I would have filmed the whole thing, how to get something done when you have one of those corporations that you can't talk to a human being. Can you imagine that? A communications company and you cannot get a human being. But I made it happen, and I got my equipment returned, and I've got new equipment on the way. And the lady, once I finally got a human that wasn't in a foreign country, she took care of me. And she gave me her email address and phone number. And now if I ever have a problem with Verizon, I have a go-to person. Now, I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot to ask you earlier. Has there been any discussion, because I haven't even looked into this, but it is affecting other sports right now, the AI effect. Is AI going to be any kind of benefit or issue when it comes to fishing, Matt? If you even went down that path?
Yes, I have. I don't think anyone really knows how much it's going to impact it. You heard what happened, and I tried to talk about it and got it wrong. You heard about the AI and stuff at the World Series of Poker final table, right?
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. Like, Daniel Negreanu's on like all the podcasts going, like, is this where we want poker to go? Where we're just running simulations as to whether we should fold or go all in based on what the board is, based on what the hands are.
Yeah, that is not a good thing for poker. And there's been other guys besides Daniel to express their opinions on AI. But, after that story and some other stuff that's taken place in other sports, I was just curious, because you're entrenched, if AI is even being discussed as a part of helping professional fishing and helping the anglers.
So,
I guess from a data standpoint, is data really that important?
I know that AI is 100% helping in bait development. And I don't really want to say anything else on that.
Okay.
It's pretty mind-blowing what I've actually kind of witnessed, as far as like, hey, we want this and this and this and this and this and this. Put it all together and tell us what the best option is. And AI can say, make this.
Yeah. Well, in bowling, some of the discussion that's taking place right now from a data standpoint, based upon the condition and the reactions that you're seeing on the lanes, somebody is actually trying to get AI involved in making the decision for you what would be best to either make a ball change or make a move. And you just look down at your phone and it says, oh, well, you need to ball up. And
yeah, I mean, that's the deep dive app. That's all of the apps that are out there too right now. I mean, the Omnia Pro, like all that. I mean, it's telling you, it's using technology to put all of these factors together and draw from individuals to say, hey, based on this is your best option.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, it was epic trying to get somebody on Verizon. I mean, some of my team was in my office when I was going through this whole process. They actually learned a lot. How many
they didn't try to transfer out
to go into I am customer mode when we were in the studio? Quite a bit. And
I usually left for it. It was just high anxiety for me.
See, man, part of that is people that did that to me when I was at UPS.
Yeah, but then do you not understand like the level, like how it impacted your quality of life? So you could be like, okay, like I'm going to treat this differently instead of like return the favor for high stress and anxiety. Like I have no problem with it as long as they're trying to be as helpful. Like there's no reason to raise your voice or get upset or go into I am customer mode, as long as the person that you're dealing with is being as helpful and respectful as they can be.
Agree.
So, like, get this. So Court had an overnight last night. She just wanted to get something to eat. So she orders to go from Chili's. And she walks over there after she orders it. And she's the only one standing in the to go. And she said like 6 employees walked past her at Chili's, didn't say anything. She even tried to get their attention, blatantly ignoring her.
Mm-hmm.
Then one, she said, go stand by the wall. And she's like, oh, sorry, I thought this was where to go pickup was. She goes over to the wall. Another employee comes over and goes, what are you doing standing over here? So she's like, what the hell? So all she was getting were these wontons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said she's waiting and no one's helping her. Disaster there. Like, I'm done with Chili's. And so she apparently upset them by asking where her order was. So they give her the order. She gets home. They intentionally gave her just the wontons with no filling in it. Just as a screw you to her. That's called bad employees. I was ready to freaking fly to the location where she was at and go give them a piece of my mind.
Wow. That's pretty bad. Hey, by the way, nobody wanted to talk to us?
I didn't really. We went on a pretty good little rant there. So,
I have the feeling I'm kind of hurt. Nobody wanted to talk to me.
She sent me a picture. I don't know why I can't find this picture.
Nobody wanted to talk to me.
Oh yeah, we did. She left a horrible Yelp review.
Google review.
I'll have to see. I might have to have her double down on Google too.
All right.
Anything else?
No, my graduate assistant and the National Collegiate Player of the Year runner-up just entered my office.
Oh, she FaceTimed me because she was upset. That's why I don't have a picture of it.
Oh.
And I'm a Chili's fan too.
Chili's is expensive.
Nah, not if you go during like the happy hour stuff or the half price stuff. You can get so at Chili's you can get the fajita. So they're steak fajitas. Just get it for an order of the steak fajitas, and then both of you can eat it.
Yeah.
And then you go during half price appetizer. You get one appetizer and the fajitas. You're out of there for under $40, 2 people.
Yeah, but a $16 burger, that's ridiculous.
We're not getting the burgers.
Too much.
Stay with the steak fajitas and happy hour.
At Chili's? Yeah, somebody makes a great point. I'm not going to Chili's for fajitas.
You're missing out, Ryan. Chili's has amazing fajita. Now I'm talking good about Chili's.
Oh, man, you are just on an epic good tone for the show today.
All right, I still have to run like 4 commercials. How often did you always, when you ran the show, did you run every sponsor every single show?
Remember, sometimes we would go, hey, we went long today. Sorry. We went commercial free the second half of the show.
You don't think all the sponsors are going to drop if they're like, hey, like you only ran it 3 times this week instead of 4?
No.
All right, then we won't run any more commercials. We're in the
show.
All
right, real quick, what is the top restaurant on your list now since you got into the food conversation? Being a world traveler that you are.
I will tell you what I enjoy, and it is a somewhat of a chain. Bricktown Brewery, just for quality and consistency, and then it's kind of a Midwest deal, I think.
It is.
But Bricktown Brewery is we have never missed at Bricktown Brewery.
You know who started those?
No.
His name was Jim Brewer. And Jim Brewer was he was vital in the resurrection of Bricktown in Oklahoma City. His son worked at UPS.
Really?
And continued to work at UPS when Jim was making I think his first name was Jim, was making millions in the resurrection of Bricktown. All right. It's okay.
What about you?
I'm a Charleston's. House Smith restaurant.
Yeah, but Charleston's is for someone who majored in finance and then retired after 25 years and then had a secondary career. Charleston's is a little bit highfalutin. You take Carolyn to Charleston's, you're not getting out of there for $100. It's right at $100 for both you guys to get out.
Probably.
With one drink apiece.
Probably.
We can do Bricktown Brewery. You can do Bricktown Brewery, 2 people, $35.
So, have you done the $5 McDonald's meal yet?
I don't do fast food. I've done fast food maybe the last time I did fast food, which was an epic fail, which was delicious. Just the after effects were catastrophic.
Yeah.
Was Louisiana Popeyes. I love their Popeyes shrimp, like the buffalo shrimp, buffalo chicken, the buffalo wings. Love them. System does not. The system does not.
Hey, how's Frank doing?
He's good. He is donating stuff. I got to get him on for tomorrow. He redid his bathroom. That went okay. He's very happy about that. He's catching fish. He's enjoying merging old school tactics with new school technology.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure out when he can come down with my crazy schedule. I mean, we got Show 200 coming up. He's got like signature series stuff that sells out within 3 hours after it goes live.
Mm-hmm.
And they're loving him over there. We're loving him here.
All right, man. Last thing, really a couple things. One, thanks for having me on. I hope the people don't get upset when I make a sudden appearance. I really enjoy.
Why would they get upset?
While I'm doing that. All right. And then the other thing is, dude, give me the percentage of probability that OU gets a win with Tennessee coming to town.
Yeah, I'm jumping on Baxter the Bait Man. He's a Tennessee guy. I'm jumping on his live stream tomorrow night. He said, do you want to make a bet? And I just said, absolutely not. I would hope that that we have a few tricks up our sleeve that we have not tipped our hand in the first 3, and we just methodically grinded it out, and that we will unveil a new, more productive offense. Now you have to remember though, we're missing like real key, wide receivers, Anderson, Farouk. We're missing a lot of guys. Like, so JXNR doesn't have a ton of guys to chuck it to right now, but I don't know. I mean, Tennessee has never, since I've been following, since the Manning era, has never been able to put together a solid season. We've got them twice the last couple of times we played them. Like, I think it'll be way closer than we think. Cause how many times has OU started out just epically blowing out guys, just like Tennessee is. And then boom, we face good opponents and we're like, oh, we always do this. We blow everyone out and then we don't face any competition. Well, we faced some competition this year, so maybe it'll work to our favor. You're a smart man not making that bet. All right. You think it'll be a blowout? It's going to be ugly. I don't think it'll be ugly. All right. I think OU has a very good shot. All right. We'll see. I have faith still. We are 3-0. All right. I am holding you to the first week of October to take me out. And what do you want to do? I want to watch you do your thing. I don't know. Is the crappie biting by then? The crappie are always biting. Maybe do a little crappie fishing and do a little scoping and do a little old school fishing. I don't know if there's a place like that exists. Is there? Yeah, any lake you can do old school fishing. You can do whatever you want on any lake. I mean, no one's forcing you to choose any technique. Well, I want to go catching. Okay, I don't want to go fishing. I want to go catching. Okay, but I'll watch too. I don't mind watching. Yeah, no, you want to go catching. I mean, it sounds like a guy who really likes scope to me. I don't know it. I just have seen you catch a giant on it. That's really it. All right. Tomorrow we're going to do 2 shows, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. We're going to do a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame show. I'm actually going to work on getting those plugged in today and actually figure out when that auction opens. Everybody can get on BidPal through bassfishinghof.com. A lot of great trips, a lot of great experiences there, including the BTL experience, including the Epic Eric's Bass Lab stuff, Juice's Jigs, the Milliken trip, Frank Scalish's one-of-a-kind, hand-painted, framed, matted. He showed it on the last. That thing is going to go for a lot of money, too. So I'm going to do that. And then at 9:30, he's been on every other podcast. I haven't had him on. Robert G., like 4 top 5 finishes in the last end of the year. Really did himself a lot of good. In the Angler of the Year points, he's going to be on at 9:30, so a double dose of shows. Hey, listen, we're headed towards the end of the year, folks. Mark did this once a year. I'll keep him on here. He'll be proud of me that I'm doing this. If you listen on iTunes, and there's a lot of people that listen on iTunes, and you have not rated and left a comment on BTL, hate it, love it, indifferent, 5-star review and leave a comment. Those go to sponsors at the end of the year. That's how you guys can give back to allow more great content coming at you 4 to 5 days a week. And then also on YouTube, create a Google account, subscribe. We've had over 500 new subscribers over the last month. We're approaching the 20,000 mark. We should be at 100,000 if Mark had any foresight, but it is what it is.
That's awesome.
Leave a comment, share, like all of that stuff. If there is a product that you've purchased that you are happy with, that you're not happy with, whatever, anything that's up there, especially over the last 3 years that I've taken this thing over for Mark, I use everything that I talk about that sponsors the show, etc. Love to hear the feedback. Love to hear you guys talk about catching fish on stuff, or if you have questions about products, sizing, boats, whatever, hit me up. But that's all we got. Sound good, Mark?
Yep, you're the best in the business, man. Keep doing it.
All right, we made a pretty good team. We talked a lot about Team Series for a number of years. So yeah, I gotta make sure keep getting you back on. Get the BTL logo back on the
I will. I'll fix that.
SNU website.
I will.
That's disrespectful.
Sorry, man. I'll fix it.
All right, this has been another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. We will talk to everybody tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. See ya.